Can you tell me one thing? If you are going to invest 10 lakh rupees somewhere, you're definitely going to plan it. You are going to do R&D, proper research, and then you are going to invest it. The same goes with PhD, because you have, although you do not have to invest a lot of money, but you have to invest a certain years of your life. Say 4 to 5 years you have to invest minimum. So isn't it worth it to go with a deep research before you start a topic? Deep research in the sense, go with the topic, go with the area where you want to research. So that is where research proposal comes into the picture. A very good evening, everyone. My name is Rahul Negi, and you're watching me on the Scholars Guide. So the video for today is going to be on research proposal. What is research proposal? Why is it important? Of course, I've said it earlier also that if you are going to invest 3 to 5 years in your research somewhere, then you have to make sure that they are worth it. Okay, so we'll step by step we'll get to know why it is important from a researcher's perspective, why it is important from evaluator or institutional perspective, and why it is important from field of knowledge perspective. First come first, a research proposal matters because it is a planning and justification stage that happens before any actual research work begins. Here is what is important, here why it is important. Look, before you go for actual research, there is some things that you have to decide in advance, you have to prepare in advance. That is what research proposal is. For researcher, what is important? Forces you to clarify your topic, questions, and methods before investing time and money, of course. Reveals gap, weakness in your plan early when they are cheap to fix. So this is the point. It is very cheap to fix a problem during the research proposal, but it will be very costly if you go on keep changing the research after you have selected a topic and after you have spent 3 to 4 years in that particular area. So it's better to be prepared beforehand. So act as a roadmap you can follow and a way to track if you are staying on the schedule. Okay. From evaluators and institution perspective, how it is important. Let supervisor, funding bodies, or ethics board judge whether the study is feasible, ethical, and worth doing before approving it. So basically, it's not your decision, completely your decision that you will do research in a particular field. It's a collective decision by you, your evaluator, your guide. So they are the people who have done a lot of research, who have a lot of experience that field, and they will tell you whether it is feasible to do it or not. Ensure resources. Don't worry, I have a research proposal sample, and I'll explain that with after this field of knowledge. I'll explain that. Ensure resources, time, money, participant access aren't wasted on poorly designed studies, because it's not just time, it's money, it's participant access, because you are going to collect data from the respondent. So this is also going to wasted if you have not done research properly. Confirms the researcher understand the existing literature and isn't duplicating work already done. So this is also done by evaluators and institutions, that you're not just copying and pasting the previous work that has been done, you are doing something new. So that is what research is all about. Means research, search again. For the field of knowledge, show how proposed study will fill a genuine gap rather than repeat what's known. Means you have to find a gap that is present in the previous studies which they have not explored yet, and you will explore that. Establishes the theoretical or conceptual ground so the eventual finding can properly situated in existing research. You have to establish the theoretical and conceptual ground so that your research is distinguished on some parameters than the research that have been previously done. Okay, now there is a sample research proposal that I have, and with this I think you will be better explained, you will be better demonstrated how research proposal is prepared and how to go on with this. So first come first, there will be title. The title should be clear. The title should be clear in the manner that it is showing that there is some impact going on from independent variable to dependent variable. For example, here a study on impact of social media usage on the academic performance of undergraduate. So this is social media usage is IV, because its impact we are seeing what on what academic performance of undergraduate. So academic performance will be DV and this will be IV. So it's the first and foremost thing that you have to clear the title. It should be IV DV. This should be clear. Okay. Then in the title page you have to mention who submitted, what is the department, what is the program, what is the university. You can also put a university logo here and make it a proper thing. Okay, so this is the title page. Then comes abstract. So abstract is basically not recommended for research proposal. The reason why I'm telling this is because abstract is made after you have completed the whole research, and abstract show you a glimpse of what you have done in the research. So of course during the research proposal you cannot be sure what you have done. Okay, so this is not made, this is done by mistake. So introduction, in introduction you will introduce your topic, you will go with the background of the study, you will go with the different elements that I've used, or that you are going to be that you are going to use in your study. You will explain these background of the studies, you will tell about the variables, all these things you will tell about. Okay, then there comes a research question. Now, after the problem statement, you have stated this is the problem. Now, you'll form certain research question. Mark my word, these are the exact thing that you have to do in your research proposal. Then there's going to be research questions. What are the research questions? Why are you doing this research? If I don't understand hypothesis, I don't understand objective. So what I, as a layman, after reading your research question, I should know what is there in the research. For example, is there significant, statistically significant relationship between social media or use GPA? So with the research question you can form research objective and research hypothesis. Okay, so objective would be little vast. For example, it would definitely come from research questions. For example, there a statistical significant relation between social media and use of GP? So objective would be to examine the relationship between social media and use an academic performance. This is one of the academic performance indicator. Okay, then there will be hypothesis. Hypothesis will be um, uh, social media impact academic performance positively, or social media impact academic performance negatively. It is if it is one sided, if you can also leave a room like social media impact academic performance, you have not mentioned positively or negatively. So that is how hypotheses are formed. So after research question there will be a research objective, then there will be research hypothesis. Okay, now the significance of the study, this is also one of the most important thing that you have to mention, that why you are doing this research. After the problem statement you have done that this is the problem, these are the questions, these are the objective. Now why do you want to do this studies? What is the significance of this study to the society? Because research is all about giving something to the society that can solve a existing problem. So what is the significance you have to mention? Then literature review. After you are done with the introduction, you will go with the previous literature in the same area, in the same field, and try to find out what they have done, what is the theoretical framework behind what I am going to do. So theoretical framework is very important. Literature, you will go with the previous studies, you will see what theories are included, what theory I can include, what theory will fit my agenda or my particular research topic. Okay, then there comes research methodology, which shows the research design, what kind of research you are going to do. Is it mixed research, qualitative, quantitative, descriptive, empirical? Don't worry, I will pin or I'll give this particular PDF in somewhere in description, or in pin comment, don't worry. Then there's population and sampling. Obviously, if you are going for empirical study, you have to decide how many respondents you are going to examine. And it's not by rule of thumb. It's definitely with it's not by hook and crook. It is there is a particular just like Cochrane formula. There is some Jackson's formula also, which decides how many respondents you have to go with. Okay, then there are data collection instrument, whether you are going to send online questionnaire, or whether you are going to fill the questionnaire by yourself, which is obviously called the schedules, or what method you are using to collect data. Then data analysis, it depends whether you are using SPSS or PLSM. This would, in research proposal, this would be tentative. I might be using this, I might be using this, or also in during the research methodology, don't mention that this much of students that I'm going to examine. You can say that I would examine close to this number of students or respondents. Then there comes data, and after data analysis, ethical consideration, you have to mention that all inform all the participants that they'll be their interview will be written somewhere in research, or if there is human or animal involvement, you have to mention that. Then there's proposed timeline, although it is not very important from a researcher's point of view, but it shows that how many time literature review, data collection, data analysis took. It is not something you need to worry about. Estimated budget, obviously for a researcher who is doing PhD, it is not important for you to mention here. Then the important one is references. You have to mention references, because in during your literature review portion, or during your introduction portion, you mention some in-text citations. For those in-text citations, you have to mention these references. Either it could be in APA style, either it could be in Harvard, or whatever the style that your institution asks you to do. So I think, yeah, that was all about research proposal. I hope you understood what I was trying to explain here. And if you did, subscribe to the Scholars Guide and comment down your valuable suggestion. And I, my friend, will see you in the next research video on Saturday at 6:15, or I would say 15 past 6 p.m.